even better the second time. It's fantastic. Wow. I'm still recovering. So. Well, congratulations, first of all. I think what's amazing about your films is that you have so many different elements in your films. I know you studied philosophy, right? And I know you're a big fan of Shakespeare and Sophocles and Dostoevsky and Kafka, and you know, there's a lot of those influences in the film, and I just wanted, you know, it's a very the subject is very serious, but there's this unbelievable black humor to it, which you do in spades in your movies and in your performance, which is so complex. And I just wanted to know, is that embedded in the script when you're writing that? And is that a big part of who you are? So, one question.
예, 그 심각한데 또 동시에 또 웃기기도 하다라고 하는 것은 정말 제가 영화가 그래야 된다라고 진짜 뼈저리게 느꼈던 순간은 제가 옆에 계셔서 하는 말이 아니라 제가 바튼 핑크 같은 영화를 봤을 때였던 것 같아요.
A film should be serious but funny. That philosophy of how film should always have both. I'm not saying this because you're next to me, but I think I got that philosophy from Battlefic. Battlefic.
진짜요.
It's for real.
그리고 각본에서부터 그런 면을 담아내려고 노력을 했고요, 의도적으로. 그렇기 때문에 병원 배우가 처음 각본을 읽고 했던 질문도, 첫 질문도 자기가 이것을 웃으면서 읽었는데 정말 이게 웃기려고 쓴 작품이 맞느냐라는 것이었습니다.
And I have always intentionally tried to do that from the script phase as well. So actually the first question that Byung-hun had asked me after he read the script was, I actually laughed while I was reading the script, and was that supposed to be the case?
제 생각에는 이 영화, 이런 영화는 웃기면 웃길수록 더 슬퍼지는, 결국에는 그래서 그것이 분리되는 것이 아니라 손을 잡고 함께 가는 것이다. 그래서 웃길수록 슬퍼지고 또 슬플수록 그것 때문에 더 웃음이 나는 동시에 가는 것이다. 이것이 이 영화를 만들 때 제가 제일 중요하게 여겼던 요소입니다.
And I think in this sort of film, the funnier it is, the sadder it will feel to the audience. Those two elements can't be separated. They always go hand in hand. So the funnier it is, the sadder it feels, and the sadder it feels, the funnier it feels. Both of those happening concurrently is something that I really prioritize in the making of this film.
I think you succeeded. You've been thinking about doing this film for 20 years? Could you talk about that just a little bit?
네, 20년은 제가 소설을 읽으면서 이거 영화로 만들고 싶다라고 생각한 그 때부터 따지면 20년이고요. 그리고 실제로 작업을 시작한, 각색 작업을 시작한 것부터 따지면 15년입니다.
It's been 20 years since I first read the novel and decided that I wanted to adapt it, but the actual adaptation process, I've been doing that for 15 years.
그리고 그 15년의 대부분은 미국 영화로 만들기 위해서 사용된 시간이고요. 그러나 결국 뭐 실패했어요. 그 투자를 유치하는데 제가 원하는 만큼의 제작비를 얻는데 실패했기 때문에 그리고 최근에 와서 이제 한국 영어로 바꾸기로 결심을 했고 그 다음부터는 아주 빠르게 진행이 되어서 바로 만들 수 있게 됐죠.
And for most of those 15 years, this project has been developed as an American film, but I failed to find the level of budget that I wanted for the project. So it was only quite recently that I decided to turn this into a Korean film, and everything moved very quickly from there.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. The world has changed a lot in 20 years. And this is a very big issue in the world.
고용 불안정의 문제는 사실 뭐 그때나 지금 그때도 심각했고요. 지금도 지금 더 나빠지고 있죠 세계적으로. 근데 참 세월이 흘러도 똑같고 또 세계 어느 나라에서 온 사람들 친구들을 만나도 다 자기 나라가 그렇다고 말하고 그러니까 이건 정말 자본주의 체제 하에 있는 지구상의 대부분의 사회에서 겪는 일인 것 같습니다.
I think the issue of job security was serious back then, but it's only worsening globally today. And regardless of who I meet and where they're from, they always say that job security is an issue where they're from. And so that's what makes me think that this is an issue that most capitalist societies around the world are experiencing.
그래서 영화를 이제 오랫동안 미국에서 못 만들다가 이렇게 이제 지금 와서 한국에서 만들게 된 것이 저는 두 가지 면에서 오히려 다행이다라고 생각합니다. 하나는 이런 좋은 배를 캐스팅할 수 있었다는 거, 그다음에 AI 이슈를 다룰 수 있게 됐다는 거, 그 두 가지입니다.
And so I haven't been able to make this project for a long time, and only now I got to make this film in Korea. And there are two reasons that make me glad that it turned out that way. The first reason being that I was able to cast an amazing actor like Lee Byung-hun, and the second issue would be. And the second reason being that I was able to incorporate the issue of AI in the film.
Lee, I want to ask you, I know you've worked 25 years ago together in a wonderful movie. It's been a long time, but I know he also designs all the shots. But I wanted to ask you the sense of freedom that you have within that. And when I watched your performance, it's really like Shakespearean because you see this really good man, this responsible man. It reminded me of the Scottish play in many ways, and where he goes. And I just I wondered how you approached it and how free you felt in certain scenes, especially the unforgettable fight scene with the music, which is a scene that I think I could watch like 100 times. There are things in this movie that you've never, in many of your movies, that you've never seen before. That's why I go to the movies to say, I never saw this. And so anyway, I wanted to ask you about that.
박 감독님이 저에게 가진 가장 큰 불만 중에 하나가 컨티뉴이티를 사실은 저는 보지를 않아요. 스토리보드를 보지 않고 당일날 아침에 나눠주는 그 몇 장짜리 그날 찍을 스토리보드만 체크를 하거든요. 참고 삼아.
So one of Director Park's biggest qualm with me is that I don't really review the storyboard. I do review it, but only the storyboard on the day of filming.
그렇지만 이제 그 사실 제가 안 보는 이유는 자꾸만 저의 어떤 상상의 가지를 자르는 느낌이고 제가 어떤 작은 프레임 안에 갇히게 되는 느낌이 커서 그래요.
So the reason why I don't do that is I feel like it sometimes cuts off my imagination, and sometimes I get the feeling of being trapped inside a frame, so to speak.
근데 이번 영화를 찍으면서 이제는 박 감독님하고 영화를 하면 스토리보드를 꼭 미리 먼저 봐야 되겠다는 생각을 했어요. 왜냐하면 제가 마음속으로 생각했던 샷하고 하나도 일치하지 않았어요. 그 아침에 보는 그 스토리보드가.
But in this case, I was very intentional about reviewing the storyboard in advance because what I thought in my head of what a shot would look like or a scene would look like did not look at all like what the storyboard looked like for this film.
그 씬은 사실은 가장 모두가 대표적인 씬 중에 하나로 뽑는 그런 시퀀스고 저 또한 그렇게 생각을 해요.
That scene I think is most representative of what this film is, and I also personally think so.
만수가 제거하는 세 사람이 모두가 사실은 자기의 어떤 분신 같은 사람이거든요. 결국 자기의 모습이거든요. 그리고 자기 자신이고.
You could say that Mansu's three victims resemble him and are almost a part of him, or yes, a part of him.
그 법무를 향해서 처음으로 그렇게 평범하고 착했던 사람이 정말 토해내듯이 그 큰 음악 속에서 막 큰 소리로 악을 쓰고 하는 이야기들, 그 법무에게 하는 충고들이 다 결국엔 자기 자신에게 하는 이야기라고 생각을 했어요.
So what he's shouting, the advice that he shouts at Pommo over the music, that's all advice that he wants to tell himself.
결국 한 사람 한 사람을 제거해 나가고 자기의 목표를 향해 가고 있지만 결국엔 그 나뭇잎에 벌레들이 나뭇잎을 다 갉아먹듯이 자기의 영혼을 계속 갉아먹는 짓이었던 거죠.
So yes, he does eliminate his victims one by one to achieve his goal, but like you've seen in the film, as bugs eat out a leaf, that's also eating away at his soul.
여전히 영화를 보면서도 가장 마음으로도 감정적으로도 또 육체적으로도 고생했던 그런 기억이 떠올라서 굉장히 저한테도 의미 있는 그런 씬이에요.
That scene, shooting that scene in particular, was most emotionally and physically challenging, but because of that, it's all the more memorable for me and meaningful.
Yeah, it's memorable. The relationship is this great love story that you have in the film between the wife and the husband, and and how she discovers what's going on and then is implicated. And I was, wondering how you developed that,
예, 그것을 사랑 이야기라고 표현해 주셔서 정말 일단 그거부터 고맙습니다.
First of all, I want to thank you for describing this as a love story.
저는 정말 그 굉장히 중요한
Great love. That's
정말 이
very
영화를
sexy too. So,
중요하게 생각하고 다루었는데 그 점을 별로 지적받지 못해서 섭섭했었거든요. 근데 사실 그 각색에 있어서 가장 중요한 포인트였어요. 그러니까 원작에는 아내가 끝까지 모르거든요. 그 눈치채게 만든다면 어떨까 하는 것이 제가 이 작품을 다 읽자마자 바로 떠오른 아이디어였고 그것은 끝까지 유지하면서 점점 더 그 아이디어를 발전시켜 나갔죠.
And I've approached it as such, so I'm glad that you brought that up. And in regards to the wife finding out, in the original novel, the wife actually doesn't find out what the husband has been up to until the very end. And this was an idea that I immediately thought of after I read the book, and I continue to develop that idea since then.
그게 왜 중요하냐면은 만수는 자기 가정을 위해서, 자기 가족들을 위해서 이런 일을 한다, 이 나쁜 일을 한다라고 생각하잖아요. 그런데 그 가족을 위해서 한 일 때문에 가족들이 자기로부터 멀어진다. 결말은 이렇게 되면 이게 얼마나 허무한 헛수고가 됩니까? 바로 그 점이 이 이야기의 정말 핵심이 될 거라고 저는 생각했습니다.
And that's important because Mansu tells himself that he's doing all of these bad things for the sake of his family. But it's precisely because of these things that his family grows distant from him at the end of the film. So that makes all of his hard work and efforts futile at the end of the story. And I think that part of it all really was the core of the story from the start.
그렇게 되면서 이제 아내의 캐릭터도 비중이 커지고 그녀가 좀 더 복합적인 캐릭터로 만들어질 수 있었고 그렇기 때문에 또 손예진처럼 이제 탑 클래스의 배우를 캐스팅할 수가 있었고요. 그래서 영화의 그 후반부에서는 이 부부 관계, 부부의 그 각자 떨어져 있지만 우리의 편집을 통해서 바로 붙어 있게 되는 교차 편집 시퀀스, 통화도 하고 그리고 마지막 상의를 마치고 돌아와서 호응하고 하는 대화에 이르기까지 이 부분이 영화의 가장 핵심을 이룬다라고 저는 생각합니다.
And that's why the wife character had more screen time in the film than in the original film, and I also made sure to make the character more complex than in the novel as well. And ultimately, that's why I was able to cast a top-class Korean actress like Son Ye-jin to play the role. And near the end of the film, even though the couple is physically apart, we see them grow closer together through the cross-cut while they're calling each other. And that culminates in the dialogue scene where they're embracing and talking. And all of these scenes, I think, really make up the core of the entire film.
Really, that's you're involved because of their relationship. You know. Yeah, that's, and I wanted to just commend you because you obviously have dealt with violence in your movies, in some of your movies, but this, in Lee's performance, you rarely ever see a person who's gentle, who then is pushed by circumstances to become violent, you know, and that was really sort of miraculous to see someone trying to do something and that wasn't in their nature. So I was wondering how, for both of you, if that was something that was, you know, paramount in your heads to explore.
예, 사실 만수라는 보통 우리 평범한 이웃과 같은 사람이 어떻게 해서 이런 연쇄살인범이 될 수 있었는가 하는 문제는 굉장히 그 관객을 설득하기가 쉬운 문제는 아니죠.
The issue of Mansu, who initially comes off as this very typical man who's like our neighbor, eventually turned into a serial killer. This was not easy to make it convincing to the audience.
저는 이 사람이 이렇게 되는데 그런 관객을 그래 그럴만해 나라도 그럴 것 같아라고 끄덕거리게 만들려고 했다면 사실 각본을 새로 이제 그 방향으로 만들면 사실 그러니까 불가능한 일은 아니에요. 사실 어떻게 보면 쉬운 일이에요. 각본만 바꾼다면 말하자면 무슨 가족 중에 누군가가 큰 거액이 필요한 어떤 수술을 하지 않으면 곧 죽는다라든가 여러 가지 그 절박한 사정 있잖아요. 그런 것을 설정하면 관객은 쉽게 설득이 되겠죠. 근데 제가 만들고 싶은 것은 그런 것은 아니었어요.
And the way that this man has turned out that way, I didn't want to make it in a fashion where the audience would go, oh, I would have done that too. I could have adjusted the script in that direction. In fact, that would have been easier to adjust in the script. So for instance, Mansu could have had someone in the family who needed surgery right now or they might die. So that's why he immediately needs a lot of money and that's why he went out to do the murders. With a storyline like that, then the audience could be easily convinced of why he goes through such thing. But that was not the story I wanted to tell.
제가 만들고 싶었던 영화는 좀 경계선에 있는 것인데 만수라는 사람이 또는 그 가족이 이 중산층의 삶의 그 생활 수준이라는 것이 있잖아요. 익숙해져 있고 그리고 여기까지 오기 위해서 많은 노력을 했고 그래서 이제 간신히 여기 도달해서 이제 안주한 안정된 상태를 만끽하고 있는데 지금 이런 실직 사태가 벌어졌다. 그럼 여기서 전락하고 싶지 않은 욕망이라는 것이 있잖아요. 그러니까 밥을 굶지는 않더라도 당장 집을 뺏겨서 길바닥에 놔앉지 않더라도 조금이라도 여기서 내려가고 싶지 않은 중산층의 욕망이라는 것이 있지 않습니까? 그런 것을 좀 보여주고 싶었습니다.
What I wanted was a story that was more on the borderline. So Mansu as a person and his family as well, they've maintained this lifestyle of the middle class. It feels very familiar to them and they put a lot of work into achieving that lifestyle. And finally they've achieved it and they've been enjoying their stable life in this middle class. And when Mansu gets fired, he's captured by this greed to not want to fall below the lifestyle of the middle class. It's not like he's going to immediately starve or his family is going to go homeless. He just doesn't want to step down even an inch from that middle class lifestyle. So that was what I wanted to portray.
또 한 가지는 남성성의 문제인데 좋은 직장을 가지고 돈을 잘 벌어서 처자식을 먹여 살린다는데 그것을 자기 삶의 목표, 자기 삶의 전부라고 생각했던 사람이 실직을 한다는 것은 남성성을 상실하는 일처럼 스스로 느끼게 된다는 것이죠. 그런 류의 남성들이 있지요. 다 그렇지는 않지만 근데 이런 사람을 묘사하고 싶었어요. 그래서 이 밥을 굶는 일이 그런 처지가 아니어도 자기 정체성을 회복하기 위해서는 이 잡을 되찾아야 한다. 그것 말고는 다른 방법은 상상도 할 수 없는 사람, 그런 사람을 묘사하고 싶었어요.
And another thing was the issue of masculinity. So Mansu believes that making good money from a good job and feeding his family was his only identity and his sole life goal. So when he loses his job, he almost feels as if he's lost his masculinity as well. And there are such men in our lives who have those thoughts. Of course, that doesn't speak for every man, but there are those people around us as well. So even if he's not about to go starve, he wants to get that job again. He wants to regain his identity, and that's why he needs this job. And that was the sort of man that I wanted to portray.
All right. I think that our time is up. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.